All right, loaded parsha, my bar mitzvah parsha, by the way. And spoke about Paraduma already last year, I think. So this time I'm going to move on a little bit down. Another tragic story in Am Yisrael. The fourth one in a row. It seems like, when you feed a cat, he would come back at the same time. By him, it's like a clock. You feed him at that time, he knows that he's getting this. A dog will understand who the hand that feeds him. This third Hamidbar doesn't get it. Once after the other, they're going to start on Hashem. They're going to start on Moshe Rabbeinu times after times after times. What's the motivation? What's the Torah telling us? How are they such a great nation, the great generation that no one will ever surpass until they rise from the dead after Mashiach comes? I mean, this is mind-boggling, especially what they go after Moshe. At least they would have good kindness. You would say, they have something. What is the Torah wants to teach you with all this? Let me go into the psukim here. Okay, let's go. Vaydaber ha'am ve'loikim uv'Moshe. Already here, the language is quite interesting. We say ha'am. Every time there's ha'am, it's Erev. Okay? So let's keep in mind who came to Moshe complaining. Beloikim. Why Eloikim is here? Bashem. What are they trying to tell us? What is the pasuk trying to tell us here? Beloikim uv Moshe. The two together. Okay? Lama ha'elisunu mimitzrayim lamus bamidbar. Why did you take the always the same one? Why did you take us out from Mitzrayim? What? Had you preferred to be in Mitzrayim working like a slave? And what kind of a slave? That when you don't finish your brick, they take one of your children and they put it in the wall? That was preferable? Okay, so what's the tragedy? What's your problem here now in the midbar? What do you say you're going to die? Kien lechem. There's no bread. But that's not true. There is the man. Ve'en mayim. There's no water. That's not true. Right a little bit prior, the parsha prior in Parshas Chukas, we have the main Meriva, the story when Moshe hit the rock. Which rock was this? The Be'er Miriam. And there also they made a fight. So Moshe forced the bear of Miriam because Miriam passed away. And right after she passed away, the bear stopped giving water and went hiding among the rocks. But Moshe Rabbeinu knew how to recognize it and forced him to give water. So you had water, Beresh and Miriam working. The man was coming down because of Moshe Rabbeinu. So you had every day the man. So what do you say? You're hungry. How can you be hungry? The man was filling up the body. Pirkei Rabbi Eliezer says that whilst they were in the midbar, they never got sick. Not only they never got sick, even lice wouldn't come on them. Even flies wouldn't bother them. Mosquitoes wouldn't come close to them. They were like in a palace of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And you're saying now, you're an outlier saying, en lechem ben mayim. For sure there's lechem and mayim. Not only mayim, it's not the mayim tachtoinim, it's not the mayim of this earth that doesn't really go and understand, where to go in order to provide nutrition to every part of the body. No, it's Mayim Elyonim, the Be'er Shel Miriam. V'nafshenu katzah, and we discussed it, Balechem HaKeloikel, this light bread, meaning the man. Wow. The Midrash explains their words that they say, look, Rashi brings down a little bit part of the Midrash, and it says that how can a person eat and not go to the bathroom? He will explode one day. We've been eating the man and we don't go to the bathroom. A person cannot live like this. It's not healthy. In other words, every food is made out of two components. A klipa to protect the fruit. And yes, the klipa is exactly like the word the klipa. And the pri. And the fruit inside. So there's a psoiles. Every food is made also out, the inside, the pri, is made out of two components. A component, which is the bad, and a component that is the good in the fruit. The good will go and keep the body in good health, alive, and the bad will go out for the chitzonim. So they get their food. You're scratching your head. Do you know when this happened, this story happened? On the last year in the Midbar, 40th year. So you didn't have a question not going to the bathroom for 40 years. Now, all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you Googled the news and you checked that a person has to go to the bathroom, otherwise it's dangerous. What are you really asking here? You know already the side that whatever comes out of someone's mouth, there is the answer that you're looking for. The person, the Gemara says in Psachim, 5 things a person don't know. One of the 5 things is what his friend is saying. That's correct. That's correct. Until he speaks. Once he speaks, check his words. In his words, you will find the answer you're looking for, what's hiding behind those words. And you will know clearly, as if you were in his head, what he's thinking. So in this pasuk, we should have as clear as daylight where they were and what they were thinking. Okay, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now all of a sudden, we changed name of Hashem. So they complained about Elohim. Now we're here with the Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei. You know that Elohim is Midas Adin. You know that Hashem is Midas Arach. Okay? Interesting, this game, into Psukim already we're changing the name of Hashem. So the pasuk tells us, by Shalach Hashem Ba'am, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent in the people, in the Erev Rav, Es HaNechashim HaSerafim. Not Nechashim Seraphim, HaNechashim, the Nechashim. Which one? The one? These ones? Yeah, those. HaSeraphim. I do not know how to translate this. HaNechashim, HaSeraphim. Is it one thing? Is it 2 things? Is it HaNechashim, and there was also the Seraphim, or that was a kind of serpents that we call Nechashim HaSeraphim? Then it should have said without the first Hey, Nechashim HaSeraphim. It's a very interesting, in the Rishonim here, there's very interesting explanation. Vaynashchu es ha'am. They started biting the people. Vayamois, look at this. Look at the language, how the pasuk is going to dance. Who were beaten? The Erev Rav. Who died? Vayamois Amrav mi Yisrael. 1 second, I don't understand. Pasuk makes no logic here. He should have said Vaynashku esam vayamusu, and they died because they got bitten by poisonous serpents. No, that's too easy for a pasuk. Vaynashku esam, they beat the people. Vayamois amrav, a lot of people from Israel died. What for goodness sake? What kind of justice is that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Tzadik veYashahu, Elemuna and Avel. There's no the din and the mishpat. How can the complainers? You even wonder about the Erev Rav. They've seen the Meragli. They've seen Korach and Ados. Now they understand the stick. Every time someone opens his mouth for the bad, right away, there's no waiting. Right away, the Midas Adin comes, and boom. We're going to have to explain this Midas Adin, what it means, but I will explain it today. Though you understand here, there's a huge question. How can the Erev Rav sin? They are beaten by the nefashim, by the snakes, and who died? The Bnei Israel. They're not even mentioned the Bnei Israel here in this parsha. They have done nothing. There's another question here I wanted to tell you that's also very fundamental. Oh, yes. We have 3 stories with the same set of Lashon Hara. We said the Meraglim, Korach, and this time here, the Erev Rav. We have 3 different punishments. The punishment of the Meraglim, the tongue came out till the belly button to show that they used the midah of the nachash. It dried and they died. Korach went all the way, was swallowed by earth, all the way to Gehinnom, and that's it. But these guys, they don't get the same oinesh. They're getting snakes. If that's the reward for someone who speaks Lashon Hara, what in Korach? Oh, it makes sense because you use the nachash, the tongue, everything. So you get rewarded with the nachash. But it doesn't make sense then why Korach and Parshat Shlach, they didn't have the same thing. I'm not going to get to this psukim, but it's good to know what's going on here. For those who already, going to be here Shabbos, that's where we're going to keep on. Vayavoy ha'am, again, it's only the people. El Moshe. Vayoimru chatanu. Wow. Erev Rav, they understand the punishment, they understand the stick. Ki dibanu, we spoke. Vashem vava. Unto Hashem and you. No, I'm sorry. They didn't speak in Hashem. They didn't speak about Midas Arachnim. They spoke about Midas Adin. So they should have said here, Kidibanu beloikim baba. And the begging is Palel el Hashem, pray to Hashem, b'yasem aleinu es hanachash. What? Pray to Hashem that He removes us the snake. You don't have a snake. You have nechashim in plural, haserafim. And I said, I don't know how to translate that, if it's 1 or 2 different kinds. We'll see in this year. And you will see. But you, it says, es hanachash, the snake. Va'ispal Moshe be'adam, and Moshe Daven didn't hold grudge, was Moichel and Daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the Erev Rav. He didn't say ba'adam for them. he wants to precise you that exactly who were the Chotim, and that only enhances the question, why did Bnei Israel deserve to die? And this is where, all the flares goes up. Vayomer Hashem al Moshe, Hashem says to Moshe, Aseh lecha saraf. Make to yourself a saraf. Like, this is where, the Nechashim, Seraphim, saraf is one, is a singular. Is it a snake? It's accepted that it's a snake. Vesim oisoi al nes. And put it on the nace. You know where the nace is, guys, right? You all know where the nace is. Put him on nace, on nace. Vehaya kol hanashuch. And interesting, vehaya is a Lashon Simcha, but it's also the tziruf of Yudke Vavke of Chodesh Tishrei, of Tshuva. Kol hanashuch, anyone that was beaten, vera'o oisoi vachar. What are we now? A nation of Kishuf? Yeah. We're making all kind of interesting hiji-biji stuff. Vayas Moshe nechash nechoshes. Moshe doesn't make a saraf. He makes a nechash of nechoshes, of copper. Vaisimehu, and he put it al hanes. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Sim oisoi al nes. Moshe Rabbeinu put it on Venus. Which one? That deserves quite a in-depth learning, so we'll see that on Shabbos. V'hoya. Now we're going to go again the same thing. El Posuk repeats, Im noshach hanachash. It doesn't say kol hanashach, like in the first Posuk. It's going to change its language. Im noshach hanachash es ish. If he beat a man, what if he beat a woman? What about a child? In here it says, "Vera oisoi vachayu." You will see it and leave. And here it says, "Vehibi." He has to look unto el nechash hanechoshet. But we already said it. We know what we're talking about. Vachayu. Just to show you that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 psukim, not really simple. Something is cooking behind all this. And we see that the Torah has a message for us here because it's a very strange parasha. By Korach, by the Meraglim, they didn't come to Moshe to ask for Mechila. These were Jews. These were important people. They didn't ask them. The Erev Rav, the lowly of the lowly, that didn't even deserve to be in Dana Nekave, didn't even deserve, as we're going to see in the Shir, to be able to eat the man as he was coming down from Shamayim. These people came and asked for Mechila. This is my God. It's world upside down. The Torah is showing us something. So now we started seeing some differences between the cases. Unbelievable. That's the Nesim of Am Yisrael. The princes of every tribe could not do tshuva. They knew what was going to happen. They couldn't do tshuva. Korach, Rosh Sanhedrin, Moshe Rabbeinu told him, don't push the time. Will come a time where you will shine, you will have your position, but it's not your time yet. Couldn't wait, couldn't trust Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu is good enough to go up to Shamayim. He's good enough to bring down the luchas. No, but he's a liar. That's usually the mud that they throw at righteous people. You're a liar. They don't realize what exactly those words are doing. They don't realize the meaning of those words, And what, can you believe that even in English, you have that? Even in English, the Chokhmah transpired and went to the English. Tell me what you accuse me of, I'll tell you what you're guilty of. A person, the Baal Shem built on these castles. When someone comes and try to dirty someone else, you're only seeing himself. If you come to judge someone, you don't judge him. It seems to you that you judge him. It seems to you that you see that on him, but really it's an inner projection from what you see. One day, B'ez Hashem, I'll be able to go explain you that Baal Shem will come through Indian, that we're going to be able to speak on this Baal Shem. I'll explain to you how this projection happened, and you will understand the mechanism behind it. How indeed, a lot of time you see, and you don't realize that you see with those eyes, and those eyes only basically see what's internal. So when you have after something, it's usually a projection, an inner projection that you see. But let's go back into our parsha here. We understand we have a big explanation to have about what's going on. Very unusually, the onkelos, which usually is very close to the explanation, translating the translation of the words into Aramaic, comes here with the drasha. Like in the Targum Sheni, in the only other time you'll see that, I mean, sometimes on Torah you have a few times, but when he did it Keseder is on Megillah Esther. Ooh, huge parashas. He reveals you what happened behind the scene in Shomayim. What? It's a Zohar? No, it's more. It's out of this world. This onkelos. He wants to explain what was the cause to effect, meaning the chet, we know it, it's Lashon Hara, and they were punished. For what reason? Dafka with the nachash, dafka with the poisonous snake. It says, a bas koil, a voice came out from Shamayim. And the Baskol said, look, all the goodness I did to these people. I brought them up. I freed them from Mitzrayim. I'm sending them from Shamayim every day, month, to feed them in the midbar when nothing grows. And now they come complain to me that there's no food. What kind of rotten people can say that? Now should come the snakes that did not complain when he was cursed and his food was changed to taste like dust, dirt. Any food that the Nachash eats tastes like dirt. And he accepted the Gzera. Therefore, those who did not complain about their food, even though there was a room to complain, should come and punish those who complain when there's no room to complain. Amazing onkelos. Where did he get this in the passage? Rashi learns a bit differently. Not a bit differently, totally different. Why nechashim srafim? Because the Nachash was the first one to speak Lashon Hara on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what have they done? They have taken the trade of the Nachash. They have imitated the trade of the Nachash to talk on HaKadosh Baruch Hu and on Moshe Rabbeinu. Therefore, since you want to imitate the Nachash, let the Nachash punish you. The only problem I have with the Pshat of Rashi is it didn't have to be only the Nechashim, and we're going to see, because we're going to answer Rashi also. It didn't have to be only that type of Nechashim. It could have been the streaker, whatever you call them, the strikers, the one that like the python, the boa, the whatever. They should have come. They're all Nechashim. They all represent the Nachash, the first Nachash that had spoken against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They all have the same forked tongue. You know, they're and we're gonna see what the Midrash says about it. So they're all the same. So why only those according to Rashi? According to this one, according to him, and the Unkelos, I understand. Because they complain. So the complaint will be extinguished by a fire, will be burnt down by the fire. The fire from the inside and burn them. So like the Midrash says, the poison of the Nachash would go inside and burn them internally completely like a fire. They would turn into ash internally. So it's not that they would die from a poison like we know how the poison of the Nachash is working. No, it would burn them like a fire. Because they wanted to make a fire of Machlokes, so Mimela, they punish also with a fire. Interestingly, the Yalkut Shimoni brings the two tirutzi. In the Midrash, the Yalkut Shimoni is a Midrash, and he brings the tirutz of the Unkelos and the tirutz of Rashi together. So obviously, there's no machlokes. We just need to dig in a little bit. What happened to the Nachash? Who was the Nachash? You know, we have to go back in history to the first moment of, right there before Erev Shabbos, when Chava, when the Nachash came to Chava, and how he came, what's the soid inside there. And from there, we will understand our Nechashim, and it will make a lot of sense. So the Nachash was cursed to go on his belly. Why? Mida keneged mida. Mida Sadin is always mida keneged mida. What did he engender to the world? That people throw themselves to the ground and cry over the dead. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, since you are the reason for it, then you will go belly on the ground all your life. Right away came Malachim down from Shamayim, and they cut off the arms and the legs of the Nachash, and he started screaming. His voice was heard from one side of the world to the other side of it. In other words, everyone in the Bria saw the din of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everyone trembled. What do you mean he had 2 arms and 2 legs? The Nachash was resembling to a human. He was walking straight like a human. And he was created to serve. So man, by design of the creation, was not supposed to do any work. We were supposed to have Nechashim, the snakes, and the Nachash his task was to accomplish all the task and work of man. Man would have learned Torah and everything, and the Nachash would have brought us gold and the precious stones. That was his task. We didn't have to go after Parnasa and anything. He was the one responsible for this. So what happened? What went wrong in the creation? Because this is huge. The machshava of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was to create the man in a certain fashion that he is like a melech. The same way you'll never find a melech doing certain tasks. You know, you will not find the man, according to creation design, to do those tasks. It was the task of the Nachash, but the Nachash decided differently. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, look, you didn't ask when I created you, you didn't ask me to make you like a man. You didn't ask me to, but envy. You had envy, jealousy. You jealous Adam because Chava was the most beautiful woman ever created. Ever created. More than Sarah, more than Rachel, ever. And he wanted to kill Adam in order to marry Chava. So now, in order to accomplish your scheme, you went lying on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, saying that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world by eating this fruit, the Eitz Hadas. And he does not want you to eat that fruit because he doesn't want you to be like him and create other worlds. Oh, that's enticing to a woman. You know, they like the drama a little bit. Well, we explained that already. Chava never fell for it. She just looked at the future generation and she made a choice at her own cost, you know, and so forth. But the Nachash, even though Chava didn't do it because of the Nachash, but the Nachash said words. Once words, when the tongue is misused, the din comes down. Sefer Hasidim also says like this. He brings down that the Nachash was on 2 feet, walking like a man and so forth. But he's bringing a proof to this. And he's saying that those who know how to transform a man to a wolf, or to a cat, or to a donkey, Sefer Hasidim. We're not talking about just anyone. We're talking about he knows that you can transform all the limbs of the person besides one, the ball of the eye. It will always remain the same. And the Nachash was the same. So the Nachash has also a round eye like a man. And he says, from this, you should know that he was exactly like a man. Wow. That's kind of a chiddush. And the Nachash, it says, was created to be a melech on all the behemoths, but that was not enough for him. All the chayes, that was not enough for him. He wanted the place of Adam. What place did he have Adam? He had Chava. He was the husband of Chava. Look on the Meshugas here. If we break it down and we understand, a woman is not a creation per se of her own. Yes, she is a woman in this world. In the next world, when they go up, they one neshama. It has 2 sides at neshama. One side is male, one side is female. It's a one full sparkle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because this is how the spark. So here they come at 2 different individuals when they come to Olam HaAsiyah, and it seems like, oh, we can do what we want. I have my own mind, and I have my this, and I have my that, and I have. This is reneging. This is kfira about how HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world. And since the only living aspect we have is the neshama, and that's the one that's going to go back to its source, person doesn't want to have busha for eternity, not to be able to go back to their source. Can you believe that every tzaddik that is a nitzotz of Moshe Rabbeinu, when he goes, sees in the Gehinnom, they show them the din of the Rishaim, and he sees Korach. The bizayon of Korach is bigger than the punishment he has in Gehinnom. A person would accept 100 Gehinnom, but not an eternal bizayon, because that bizayon remains. There's no washing out that bizayon. The Midrash goes on, try to rationalize the attitude of the Nachash, because it doesn't make really sense. We're talking exactly right now, constantly about the Nachash. And he's repeating his nature time after time while being hit time after time. So why are human copying the Nachash? The Midrash says in Dvarim Rabbah, Midrash Rabbah on Dvarim, they asked the Nachash, why are you all the time walking by the fences? You never define, you don't have a defined place. An animal alone, he walks in the steppe in the middle, is not scared. The Nachash is always by the hiding places, never in the clear, never in the open, never in nothing, always by the shadows, always by the... Why are you walking like this? It says, because I crossed the limits of the world. So now, all my life I've been punished to go by the limits, by the gather. Since I infringed the gather of the world, which is spoken to against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, therefore, my life is to always walk, to remember what I've done. This is my punishment. You see what's going to come out of it. They asked the Nachash a second question. Why do you always walk? I don't want to say walk, but advance with the tongue out. It says, because it's my tongue that made me sin. So I had to show my tongue to show people that this is the tongue that made me the Nachash, that I am always lying on the ground. And they asked him, why is your tongue in a fork shape? He says, because before I was able to talk, and I was able to talk in Lashon Hara, meaning he had das like a human. And I used all this in order to sin against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He cut my tongue in a fork to show that I was forking. Neither here, neither there. Always been in between. So we see here exactly what happened with the Erev Rav, at the beginning of the parsha. They start talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They start talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. They start, and that they don't make sense. But at least the Nachash had a direction. He had a goal. But what was the goal this guy? And if the Nachash is being punished by Midas Adin Akashe, by the harsh din, they cut off his hand, they cut off his legs for the rest of eternity, He's going to be going on his belly. He's going to have a tongue that's going to be forked. Everything he's going to eat. It's going to have a taste of dirt. Why were the Erev not punished the same way? They used the humanus of the Nachash. They used the trade of the Nachash. Let them be punished the same way. What did they got out of it? You know, okay, some died, but we still don't know who died because the pasuk doesn't say the Erev died. It says only Yisrael died. You're in for a shock when I'm going to explain this pasuk. According to the Zohar, you are in for a shock. This can be explained. The difference of being between the Nachash and these people can be explained by the Zohar Chadash in Parshas Kisisa. The Zohar Chadash says in Parshas Kisisa we have 10 commandments, but there's one commandment that includes all the 10. In other words, if someone is over on this commandment, it's like he was over on the 10 commandment. Which one it is? Don't envy. Don't be jealous. Once you're jealous, you kofer b'HaKadosh Baruch. As the Zohar says here, they were kofer this Erev Rav in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't see they said something. I mean, to say to the extent that HaKadosh Baruch Hu chas v'shalom, you know, like the Nachash, lo yisach. Don't envy. You know that it says don't envy his house, don't envy his wife, don't envy, you know, everything, because there I included. These are the envy does a pgam in the we learned this on Shabbos for those who remember. It's in the Keser, the Atik Yomi. It does in the highest place in the Keser HaElyai. It does a pgam all the way out there. There is no recourse for the God. There is nothing. There is nothing he can do. There's no tshuva. There's nothing. Why? Because he went through jealousy. In other words, kina. Now all of a sudden it takes a different understanding. It doesn't mean that it leads off the cliff. It means the person who started with this, as the Zohar will say, prior to action, you need a machshava. So before the person took this into action and has spoken it, he already has created the begam through here. Rurim Raim, Gematria 786, Keser Elyon, already in the machshava, he already created a begam in the Keser Elyon. Wow. So even prior to even talking, but when the person expressed himself and took it out, his faith is sealed at that point. So instead of taking it to the right place, the thought of a person of Divrei Torah, of Chesed, Milas Chasadim, the person take it thought and scheming around others. They have this, I don't have that, so I have to take him down. Character assassination, everything you want to call it, is lo yisachnu. Where is the pgam? In Moichas Esima. All the way up there in Atik Yomin, all the way in the Keser Elyon. There's no. So what was the difference with these people? Says the Shla Kodesh. That when someone in Parshas Nasoi, in Parshas Nasoi, he's talking about the Metzora, that he is sent out of the Machne, out of the three Machnes, Machne Kehuna, Machne Leviah, Machne Israel. Why? Because when he spoke in Lashon Hara, or Diburim Asurim, on someone else, automatically he is beaten. So he's using the tongue of the Nachash. He is beaten by the Nechashim Seraphim. He doesn't feel it, but he gets the tumor. You remember what the Zohar said? At that moment that he has spoken, he's like a goy. His nefesh, ruach, neshama has left him, of Kedusha have left him, and come a nefesh, ruach, neshama of Sitra, to the point that the Zohar say that every Torah that he's learning now, or every mitzvah that he's doing, is reinforcing the Sitra Achra, and he will pay for that too. That's going to be part of his judgment. Wow. Says the Shlach Kodesh. Why is he sent out? Because there's no tumor. While the tumor of this Nachash is in him, there is no. He is sent out to the place Matzah Mines Minui. He found his own, his own gender, I want to say, going out. He found, as we've learned already, and I'm going to repeat it a different way today, that he's going to the place of the Shadim, of the Ruchin, the Nishmasim, which are all the bad spirits. He's going there because now he became a bad spirit, the Ruach Ra. Huge what he's going to go through for 2 weeks. Huge punishment. I want to show you this in the puzzle because even for good reasons, if we can prevent ourselves, no matter what others do to us, one thing out of nowhere, the Zohar is going to talk about Esther in the parsha of this parsha, explaining this, what happened to the. She kept a secret. Moshe Rabbeinu, Mordechai told her not to say about her lineage, and she kept her mouth. And because of this, someone who keeps his mouth, especially when he's wrong, and he can do, and he does not do. The Zohar says the rewards is the Shekhinah, the Malchus. The Malchus inhabits it. Look at the difference. I'm going to touch this pasuk, which is in Parshas Metzora, according to the Ariyah Kodesh. Okay? Kol Yemei, all the days, Asher Hanega Boy, that the plague is in him, Yitma, his tummy. There's nothing you can do. Tamehu. Wait, 1 second. You said Yitma. I understand his tummy. What is Tamehu? How much is tummy? Tummy is 50. You remember the Bnei Israel that could not come out of Mitzrayim any second later because they would have reached the 50th level of Tumah? The 50th level of Tumah is exactly like in the Kedusha. The 50th level of Kedusha is Bina. So Bina of the Sitra Achra is Tameh. It's the lily. It's the wife of the Sam, Harasha, which is the Malach HaMavet. Tameh, who? He is in the 50s. Badad Yeshev. Badad Yeshev means he has to sit alone. Even if there's other Mitzrayim there, they cannot be in a Chabura. Why? How much is Badad? It's 10. He destroyed the 10, says that the 10 spheres of Kedusha disappeared from him. His building as a person is made with 10 spheres of the Sitra. We explained that all the tikkun over the Kohen has to do on him is rebuilding, and we proved this in the Pasuk, is rebuilding the 10 spirits of Kedusha. But whilst the tumah is in him, there's nothing you can do. Michutz abadad yeshev, he will stand alone. Michutz lamachne moishavoi. His place is out of. What does Zohar says on his place? Oh, you want it to be a ruach ra? You want it to be a bad spirit? You want it to be the nachash? You want it to talk about someone else? Now, when he goes out to the midbar, his eyes can see his kind. He can see the shady. Can you believe the fear that person has? Says the Chida HaKadosh in Midbar Kdemus. We're going to learn it in the Oitzeres Chaim when we're going to finish. When we're going to get to that, you know, we are at the last page. The Oitzeres Chaim says it also at the last page. And it's part in the Kavanos of the Bris Milah. But we went through that quite a few times, so you know it already. When a baby is born, the Zohar says it, he has 2 letters, Shin Dalet. He is a Shed. Why? Because at that time, he has the Ola on him, and the Ola is made, is 4 layers, is 4 different skins. And therefore, the Nachash, he has the name Satan, no, Nachash inside, Satan inside, yes, and Nachash on the outside. Once the bris is done and the Yud appears, Yud Kevavke goes in, Shakai on the outside. But as soon as he speaks Lashon Hara, the Yud Kevavke goes, the Shakai goes, comes back Nachash, comes back Satan and Nachash. Now you understand what happens to this person who says Lashon Hara. He looks to us like if he's a good guy, but the truth, if you were able to see, there's a tremendous Zohar. I cannot not mention this to you. There's a huge Zohar on this in Pashas Yisro, on the pasuk ve'ata secheze mikala. Yisro taught Moshe Rabbeinu, when the Zohar brings down beprate pratius, in details, how to read the forehead of a person. It's in the Zohar. And you know the letters, there's a different, I'm not going to go into this, into the shape, but there is, you can tell who is who. But even for novices, the best way to know is the words. Don't say anything. Take the words, stay with them a little bit, and understand the words. And you will see from the words, you're going to know exactly where they stand, what they have, and what their intentions. You will know exactly after you're in their brain. The Shlach Kodesh keeps on. When a Metzora in Parshas Kiseitze, it says that when a Metzora wants to make tshuva, it's great. He would start making tshuva, but still, this tumah has a power and cannot be erased like this. And he had to stay with this feeling of tshuva all the way till the 7th day. And then after 7 days, when it's a complete cycle, this tumah had no right, if he was in tshuva, to stay, to remain. However, the Kohen would come, and since he was, we call it a sit, moishavoi, he was a throne for the Nachash, there's a whole procedure, how to rebuild him. And once he's rebuilt, after it takes another 7 days of work for the Kohen to rebuild him from the 3 lowest spirits, the Netzach, Netzach Hoid Yesod. Then he rebuilds the middle spheres, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes. Then he rebuilds the first three spheres with everything he does. The Etz Erez, Ve'ezov, Shni Soilas, and the Azaya. We explain with the tzipor that he has to dip in the blood and so forth. And then he builds Chochmah, Bina, and Das. It's an order, but still, he has a week that he can enter his house and live with his wife. Says the Shlach Kodesh, because it's still there is still a little bit of rishum, meaning traces that the Nachash was here, and if his wife would get pregnant from this, only a very bad individual would be. Very bad. Therefore, he had to wait another week. The Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer Agadol, he explains. Now he goes to the depth of the. We understand the nechashim. We understand, the midah keneged midah. We're still not there yet. But and I'm running late. I can't believe I'm running so late today. Sorry for this. He was the Sam, the Satan in Shamayim. He had nothing to grumble about. All the chayes that we mentioned, the chayes, the srafim, in the Yoitzer chayes, they are angels with 4 wings. The srafim are angels with 6 wings. But the Sam, like Malach Michael, the Malach of Bnei Israel, had 12 wings. Has 12 wings. And the Satan also has 12 wings. And he was above. He was exactly across from Michal. So close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to a place you have nothing to want. You're lacking nothing. You have the oil of HaKadosh Baruch Hu right by you. But still, he came down to earth and he was jealousing Adam. Okay, not for Chava him, but why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give him such a power that he has to be a melech on all the chayes and the oifes, on all the birds and all the animals? Why? He doesn't understand. For him, it's not just. He is the ultimate justice. His das can understand everything. He decided Adam, but you know what? He's a big malach. He's not going to do this on his own. So he was looking for the same rotten mind of his on earth. And he found the Nachash. And the Nachash was walking, as we said, like a man, but the neck was long, so he was moving like this, we call it like a camel. That's why the Zohar said, and in the Midrash says, he came riding a camel when he came to Chava. He was not a camel, he was the Nachash. So the Sam came into the Nachash, and now they became a union. It's the husband and wife. And he came to try to entice. So therefore, whenever someone, so since they are one, now we know that someone that misuses his mouth, he is right away has the Satan. It came on the Nachash and the Nachash. That's the reason we have both. Because we see that in Pirkei de Rabbi Eliezer, that they became one. There said the same thing in Bereshis, Lamed Hamud Beis, and I'm not going to go into it. Now I'm just going to try to. That's why also Nachash, we can say 358 plus 1 is the cradle, 359. Satan, they were meant to bond these two, and they did. Daria Kodesh says, Yosh v'choshech v'tzalmaves, in the Shir Malay. So we say, I'm going to try to go into the answers right away, quickly. Since the Nachash, since the Chet of Chava, we still have a Tzel Maves. The shadow of death is still in the world. Tzal Maves equals 566. If you take Yaakov in full, and we only counting the inner letters that have been added in Yaakov, you see Yud, Ayin, Kuf, Bes. The outside, we're not counting. On it, equal 556, exactly Mashiach ben Yosef. They are the one, you remember the shir on our Milus Rasha, that's going to come to the Mashiach ben Yosef, and the Satan will be in him. That's the Tzel Maves. The Tzel Maves, the shadow of death, is when the Satan is together with his female, and they try to bring death to the world. And this is what happens when a person starts misspeaking. That's the shadow of death is coming upon him, not upon the others, upon him. Now let's see a little bit the pasuk here. So by Daber Ha'am, just gonna go here, try to go as fast as I can. It's a number you know. It's 337. 337. This equals to Hashchita. You remember? On the throat, Hashchita. Once someone speaks, right away, the Satan is ready here to take a life. And especially here. Why? Because when they spoke here, Beloikim of Moshe, equals 441. Equals the emes. So what did they talk? They talk against the emes. The obvious. They had bad ideas in their head, these people. And they try to rationalize their lies in order to hide. But what do they have in their mind? That's the question. This is also equals to a word we're going to learn on Shabbos from the Zohar, Gacheles. The coil, burning coil. The Zohar says in Pashas Pinchas, when the Malchus is about to punish, so when it's on the left, the Malchus is about to punish, it turns out to a burning coil, Gacheles. You can see here, right away, they haven't started saying something, nothing. By Daber Ha'am, they got ready, they were starting to part. Right away, the Midas Adin was. Not only the Midas Adin from the Sitra Afra, but the Midas Adin also from the Malchus, from the Midas Arachmi. Now, they spoke on the Midas Adin. They don't like the Midas Adin. It's too punishing. And on Moshe, Hashem punished them with the Midas Arachmi. You could not get the punishment because you infringed the Midas Arachim. And the Midas Arachim decided by Korach, by the Meraglim, it was the Midas Adin that came and defined the chet, the punishment. Here, it's a Midas Arachim. There's nothing they can do. They needed no tsaras, no nothing. They needed the nechash and nechoshes that we're going to explain over Shabbos, Bez Hashem, but they needed a specific way out of this magefa. And that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they say, Lama ha'elisunu, why did you bring us out from Mitzrayim? The previous pasuk says, I don't know if I have it here. Oh, that's going to be good. I still have something. Vayis'u meher hahar. Sorry. Meher hahar, where Aaron was niftar. Nisboiv es eretz Edom. Vayisu mehara. Like the trouble. No, Vayisu mehara derech yam suf here. Simcha mishi derech yam suf. Like we need a ways to know how they travel to get to that place. The Midrash says, Vayisu mehara, they left. It's like they left the goodness because Aaron was niftar. Now that's it. They want to become. If you take Vayisu mehara, I don't even have to mention this because it's not really pertaining to our. But you'll understand what a person turns himself into. Equals 607 equals Nevela in full. Nun, Beis, Lamed. And that's why it becomes part of the Satan, because a Nevela is something coming. And Divrei Nevola. So with his mouth, he buries himself, he creates his own burial. But now, Derech Yamsuf. We know that from the Kavanas of the Shulchan. You remember, but I don't expect you to remember from since Vayakel. This Yamsuf is always triggering. Because Yamsuf is term. Is din. Turbulent water, Ma'ima Zedoinim is the other side. We learn Shabbos in the Zerbes, Hashem, this. Yamsuf, we know, equals 196. Yad, we say on the Shulchan, we explain. Let me show you something. Two things I'm going to show you. The pro, the light, and the darkness. I'm going to start with the darkness. If you take Malchus, when the Malchus is about to punish, because the dinim are there, she punished the Mitzrim. She punishes everyone that goes out. She punished Paroi at the time of Sarah. Look, let's write in full. Mem, Lamed, Vav, Sa. If you're taking only the inner letters like we did for Mashiach ben Yosef or Yaakov, only this. The huge chiddush. Equals 196. It's always in the Malchus. It's always ready. The Yamsuf is always ready there in order to take, for the person to bring him back to the center of the road. And if he misspoke anything, the din comes out right away. The Yamsuf is here within the Malchus. And the Malchus is among Am Yisrael and listens to everything. You can deny, you can say this, you can say that. The Malchus heard it. Don't worry about it. It's about to come. And why do we know that it's always dinim? Because milui, we always say the milui equals 86, like Elohim. Always dinim inside. Always the feeling is dinim. And now we have this giving us, starting to give us an insight on the person, on what they had in their mind. This equals to foot one. Equals to 3 letters, Nun, Shin, Ayin. That stands for Nachash, Saraf, Akrab. 3 types of animals. As it says in the Pasuk, in the Midbar, you have Nachash, Saraf, Akrab. And they stand around the Gedusha, because a Gedusha is also at the same value. And I'll finish on this. I'm not going to go much further, it says in the Pasuk, well, the Zohar says the Akrab is the female, but the Pasuk says, Nachash, Sarav, Akrab, Tzimoin are the 4 clippers exactly like on the breeze. There is on, look what happens. This equals to 1497. Equal to Neni Poiked Aleichem Esroya Malalchem Neum Hashem. It's a shvua from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that right away a person will start paying for his wickedness. When he starts with the mass, equals 3 times. Kel Shakai, Kel Hashem, Kel Abid. Which are the yichud of Olam HaBeria, Yetzira, and Asiya. Keneged, Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama. All the 3 entities has lost the access to Yetzira, Beria, and Asiya. All the 3 are lost. And what did he lose? What's against that in the Gedusha, had you used your mouth at that point to do something good, despite being attacked, you would have been connected to Erech HaPayim, V'Rav Chesed, V'Emes, Noitzer Chesed. These are the midas that a person would have been connected with. I told you I'm going to show you something, and I'll finish on this. Batilbash, it says in the Pasuk, and the Zohar brings to explain our people, Batilbash, Esther, Malchus. So the Zohar asks, it doesn't say Vatilbash Esther Bemalchus with cloth, she didn't arrange himself a war cloth of a queen or Malchus, the Malchus itself. It says she was so weak after the 3 days that she was not able to go there. So the Shechina came out and dressed as her, appeared as her, and she's the Shechina that went inside there. Wow, I said that's amazing. Now let's take Esther in full. Aleph, Samech, Tav, Rich. Remember, she was called Hadassah, right? And then she was called Esther, but her real name is Hadassah. If you take only the inner letters, it's unbelievable. Equals 496. Equals Malchus. Now you know why we called her Esther. Just at the time when we needed that the Malchus should go out and what have these people had? They wanted loy lechem veloy mayim. We don't have. No, you don't understand. We need the one that make us go to the bathroom. Why? Because we need to connect ourselves to the tithes of this world. They wanted Vatik Tsar, 796, HaKeser HaElyoin. They had Irurim Roim, like Amalek. That's why the Rokeach said, not only Nechashim, Akrabim, but even wild crazy dogs. We're coming, because Klipes Amalek, all these people that have bad intentions, it's expressed through the language, the mouth. They try to come on a different, plane that so for you not to guess, but their words will always sell. I guess everybody received the Zohar, so tomorrow night will be the first